Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Meet the New Pro Tools Family Live webinar. I think this is one of the biggest signups we've had so far. So thanks to everyone who's joining on Zoom and also to those who are tuning in on social media. Before we get started, we'd love to hear from as many of you as possible today. So please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to submit any questions. And also for those watching on social media, we have some of the Avid team monitoring those, and they can send your questions in to us to answer at the end. So today we're going to cover the new Pro Tools lineup, our Pro Tools Groove Cell and Synth Cell virtual instruments, the new features included in the Pro Tools 2022.4 release, and some amazing learning content and resources that are available to all users. And then at the end, we'll do a Q&A to get as many of your questions answered as possible. We have a wide range of Avid employees presenting today from all around the world, and I'm joining you guys from London, and I'm sure the guys will tell you where they're based in a couple of minutes. So it's been a very busy couple of weeks for us. As of last week, Pro Tools is now available in 3 offerings, starting at $9.99 per month. We've got Pro Tools Artist for aspiring music creators, Pro Tools Studio for serious audio engineers and music producers, and Pro Tools Flex, a subscription bundle for professional audio post and music facilities that includes Pro Tools Ultimate software. These products build on the current Pro Tools lineup, but with significant new capabilities and content, including the new virtual instruments and more. Pro Tools will only be sold as annual or monthly subscriptions to new customers, but existing perpetual customers are not affected by this change. Avid resellers also have an existing stock of perpetual licenses, and customers will be able to get these while stocks last and convert them to the new equivalent offerings. Pro Tools Artist delivers a compelling feature set and plug-in instrument bundle at a third of the price of Pro Tools, with 32 audio and instrument tracks, the ability to record 16 audio sources at once, over 100 plugins and virtual instruments, including Groove Cell and Synth Cell. It provides everything beginners need to write, record, and mix studio quality tracks in Pro Tools. Pro Tools Studio replaces Pro Tools Standard and enables you to easily create and mix large projects. It includes a doubled track count, Groove Cell and Synth Cell, and also surround and Dolby Atmos mixing and advanced automation and clip effects editing, both previously only available in Pro Tools Ultimate. Current Pro Tools subscribers and perpetual license customers with active plans automatically transition to Pro Tools Studio and receive all the software enhancements and applicable content free of charge. Pro Tools Flex is a subscription bundle that includes an enhanced version of Pro Tools Ultimate software, plus additional content to deliver an unprecedented level of performance, offering double the aux tracks, increased native I/O to 256, Groove Cell and Synth Cell, and advanced video workflows with up to 64 video tracks. Active Pro Tools Ultimate subscribers will receive the full Pro Tools Flex subscription bundle, including the latest version of Pro Tools Ultimate. Pro Tools Ultimate perpetual license customers with active plans will also get the Pro Tools Ultimate software enhancements. Here you can see a comparison of what comes with each version, including the specific Pro Tools software, the various track counts, included content, and also the multi-channel mixing support for each version. There are comparison charts also available on the Avid website for anyone that wants a more detailed look. And there's a dedicated what's included section that goes through each version as well. So just to recap, all current Pro Tools and Pro Tools Ultimate customers with active subscriptions or perpetual support plans will automatically get the features and content for free. That means if you have Pro Tools Standard, you'll move to Pro Tools Studio. If you have Pro Tools Ultimate perpetual license with an active support plan, you'll also get access to all the enhancements of the latest software. And if you're a Pro Tools Ultimate subscriber, you'll move to the Pro Tools Flex subscription bundle. Even though we're going to new subscription only, perpetual customers have more options now than ever before. The new Get Current option allows perpetual users to upgrade to a support plan and have access to all the new enhancements and features of the latest versions, or users can move easily to subscription as well if they choose. One of the major things we've been really excited about in this release is the introduction of our new virtual instruments, ProTools GrooveCell and Synth, developed in collaboration with UJAM, and which comes free with all three of the ProTools offerings. I'm going to pass over to the lovely Simon Sherborne, who's going to talk a bit about these and give us a little demo on how they work.
Thank you, Orla. So yes, let me grab the screen so that you can see and hear what I'm seeing. Okay, there we go. So yeah, thanks, Orla. So yeah, I'm joining you today also from the UK, and it's my pleasure to give you a demo and quick tour of the two new instrument plugins that are now coming with Pro Tools. So the story behind these instruments is that we've just really wanted to get some of the real key kind of beat production and music production tools as part of the core Pro Tools feature set, and we wanted that to be in every version of Pro Tools from Artist onwards. And we thought, the essentials are really, we need a full-featured drum machine that's kind of fun and fast to use, that you can build your own kits in. And we wanted to get a really sort of versatile polysynth that can cope with kind of classic and modern sounds. So that's what we've got. So let me show you what we made. So what you're seeing here is GrooveCell. So it's a 16-channel sample-based drum machine. It will look fairly familiar. It follows the sort of traditional 4x4 pad grid model. I can play it from the screen with my mouse. I can play it from the keyboard if I want, and I also got a MIDI controller set up, so I can play it from the keyboard. It can also be used with a MIDI pad controller. I've had it running from my machine, you can see in the background. Yeah, so what you're hearing now is one of the factory kits. There is a factory library of kits from Flatpak, which includes kind of classic and modern styles and kits, which typically are going to have kind of a bunch of core sounds and then some melodic and kind of chop type sounds as well. But importantly, you can make your own kits. So you can just drop samples directly in from your computer. Let me show you. I can actually just click the plus button if I want to go in and change that sample. So let me look at my own little sample library here and just grab a snare drum. With that in, now what I'm looking at is all the parameters for that sound. So I can go in and start editing. It's a bit loud. Change the pitch. I can filter it. I've got a kind of a lo-fi groove kit here, so really need to kind of grunge it up a little bit. We can go in, and there's some quite deep features in the drum machine. We can do emulations of classic samplers. See if we can change the envelope. There we go. And we can also go in and kind of really mess up the sound with some drive and dynamics. I'm really enjoying the punch setting. I'll leave that be for now. There we go. And we also got these kind of global effects. I can add some reverb and delay. And I can look at those from here and control those. I can also add some sort of kit-wide effects like distortion. Really kind of get it quite nasty. There's a really nice compressor on there as well. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to play this a little bit. I've got the usual latency over Zoom, hearing yourself play, but bear with me. So I could go ahead and I could just record into the Pro Tools timeline, but I've also got a step sequencer here. So if you prefer to work in that kind of way, you can do that. And there's a few different workflows. All of the kits that are in the factory library have example patterns in. So for example, this one sounds like this. And this is actually quite a deep sequencer as well. I can go in, so for example, this final chop in here is kind of melodic, and then we do actually have a pitch track. So I can go in and actually create kind of melodic tracks. I can do things like 808 bass and actually start building up a beat just inside GrooveCell as a kind of framework for a track. Most likely, if you're making a new track, you're just going to hit this clear button and just start building something from scratch. Let's just do something obvious. Some bass notes in as well. So it's something like that. So once I've got something started, there's a couple of different ways I can actually use that. So if I actually just hit play in Pro Tools, you'll see that the drum machine will actually play along in sync. So you can straight away just start kind of playing around with some other ideas. Now, if you're ready to start using these patterns and sounds in your track, we can bring those into the session in a few different ways. So the way I've been doing it mainly is exporting MIDI. So if I export the MIDI out here, you'll see that this sequence has now been converted into a clip in my instrument track. And I can now actually just switch off the sequencer. And now Pro Tools is just playing it back. And in fact, if I wanted to really kind of get more control, I can come in here and actually split out the sounds to different tracks in Pro Tools, so they're all coming up individually in the mix set. So I could, at that point, I could create some different patterns and drag them in, start putting up some variations, or I could let's grab that and just duplicate it. Over here, I'm just going to move my timeline along, and I could just play in some variations. So let's just arm this track. Let's get some ideas. Yeah, latency, but you get the idea. Let's stick looping on. Let's do that again. I'll drop into record. So there you go. So I'm going to start adding some variations and building up my song like that. I could talk to you all day about Groove Cell, but I'm going to move on because I really want you to see Synth Cell as well. So let's just flip across to the next track, which has Synth Cell on, which sounds something like this. Sounds fantastic. Obviously, we've got some factory presets in there, but the best way for me to give you a quick overview of how it works is to go back to kind of an initialized patch. That's just a saw wave. So we have on the main panel a couple of multi-mode oscillators, two-stage filtering, some fairly extensive envelope and modulation, LFO, and then the modulation matrix. So let's just see what this sounds like. From here I can just blend in any of these sound sources. Okay, the saw is really interesting. It's got a multi-mode stacked option for those really big kind of super saw sounds. The sub oscillator is also stacked, which is pretty cool. My pulse wave has modulation. So to add some movement, this is when we can start bringing in the mod matrix. Add LFO, for example, to my pulse width. Much. There you go, and then I can bring in the other oscillator maybe. Let's just offset them a bit. And then choice of filtering to smooth this out. Thin the sound out. It's got like a nice MS-20 style filter, so I can actually thin the sound out. And then I'm going to just quickly make a slightly more percussive, shorter sound, because that's going to give me the best opportunity to show you the arpeggiator, which is one of my favorite bits of the plugin. Let's just switch you on. Lots of really interesting modes in a lot of these things like the delay and the filters and the arpeggiator have some pretty unusual modes. Okay, let's have a look at some effects. A nice wide chorus. And of course the reverb. We've got some more subtle reverbs, but the one that I'm completely addicted to at the minute is this one. It's bonkers. Now when I've got something to play, I can also come in and start assigning some controls. I've got some spare numbers on my keyboard here. So let's just learn a couple of those, like that. Adding some movement. So really powerful, really fun. As I think, we've also mentioned, it comes with every version of Pro Tools now. We want everybody to get their hands on this. Okay, I am probably about as much time as I've got to show you these things at the moment. So I am going to stop there and I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Oscar. Oscar, are you there?
I am. Thanks, Simon. Great stuff. I'm going to grab the screen from you real quick here. Right. So, thank you again for joining us. My name is Oscar. I'm an audio solution specialist here at Avid based in Stockholm. And today I'm going to show you some of the new features in Pro Tools 2022.4. So let's spend some time to talk about these 5 features I have listed here. So we're going to talk about the custom keyboard shortcuts, the Pro Tools search, the color space improvements we made, some Dolby Atmos improvements, as well as how to use the Yukon assignable knob. So let's just dive straight into it. And I'm going to start off by looking at custom keyboard shortcuts. So this feature does exactly what it says. It allows you to customize the Pro Tools default shortcuts to your own liking, but it also allows you to add new shortcuts that hasn't been available as shortcuts before. So to configure a shortcut, you simply go to Setup, Keyboard Shortcut, or you press Ctrl-Shift-K on Mac or Start-Shift-K on Windows. And that's going to bring up this brand new window that we've got here. And basically, we have 2 important columns here. One is the command column right here, and this is listing every command available to add shortcuts to. And you have access to nearly every command in the Pro Tools menus, as well as submenus. And the second one is obviously the key combination. So this is listing the current key combination for every command. And as you can see here, as I scroll down, you'll find a lot of empty commands, and you're free to add shortcuts to those. And up top here, we have search and filters for easy way to find your shortcuts. So just by typing here, so I'm going to add a preset to my track preset. Can't spell today. Track preset window. So a really efficient way of just filtering that out. And to add a key combination to this, you simply double click and type in your shortcut. So I'm going to do a Shift-Control-T and then press OK. So now when you press that, you'll have instant access to the track preset window. So I'm going to open up the keyboard shortcut window again, clear that. So there's another very efficient way of searching for a shortcut is by search for key. So this is what you would use if you know where that shortcut is, but you don't know the name of it. So I'm just going to press return and it's going to list every single command that uses the return key with different modifiers as well. So what I want to do is I want to change my return to 0, which is the default command for the return key. I want to change it to return to song start because I usually use a song start starting point, and every time I press return, it's going to take me back to the beginning of the session, and I usually leave a lot of room in front of it. So by double-clicking and pressing return, ProTools is not going to tell us, okay, we have a conflict, because obviously these two commands are using the same shortcuts. So by pressing resolve, we keep that shortcut, and the other one is going to be cleared out. So in this case, I'm just going to put that back to switch them around, really. So wherever I'm in the session now and I press return, it's going to bring me back to my song start. So that's some of the things you can do. You can even do more stuff that wasn't available before. So you can do stuff like hide and show memory locations. You can show and hide the clip names. So if you want a really clean looking slate when you do editing and stuff like that, it's a really quick way of doing it. We can also bring out the color palette with simple shortcut. You can delete a track. You can expand sense. So if I'm in my mix window or edit window, we can just simply press keys to expand those really easily. You can add shortcuts for navigation. So let's say you want to go page back and forth in your session, left and right, up and down. It's really easy to just assign a shortcut to it. And something I find very useful is to hide and show my edit window views. So I can decide to show all of them, I can hide them all, and the best part is I can even assign like custom keys for specific columns. So whenever I'm doing an Atmos project, I can just press that key and it's going to show my objects straight away. So those are a few examples. Let's leave the custom shortcuts and move on to the next feature, which is ProTools Search. So to open this feature, we're going to do that first. You go to Window and press ProTools Search. There's also a shortcut. It's Control-Shift-S or Start-Shift-S on Windows. And that's going to bring up this search bar. And this function is very similar to something like Spotlight in macOS, as this one allows you to search for basically anything in Pro Tools. So as we were on the subject of song start, let's just search for move song start. So you get all the results from that. You can go up and down with the arrow keys and just press return, and it's going to bring up that window for you. So you can search for things like automation really quickly instead of going into the edit menu. And let me zoom back out here. I'm going to search for just a track, and once you press return, it's going to bring you straight to that track. And the same is true for clips, but also for memory locations. So if you go to, let's say, chorus 1, and it's just going to take it straight to it. You can also do this for Audio Suite plugins. So there's two ways of doing it. Either you type the plugin name, press return, it's going to bring you straight to it, or you can search by a category, which is going to list the first one in that list. So really, if you know what you're looking for, this will most likely be the quickest and easiest way of getting there. So moving on to something completely different, we're going to talk about video color space. So first of all, having the correct color space setting means you get a much more accurate color representation of the picture. So video tracks now supports the same range of color spaces as Media Composer, which essentially means you see the same picture as the video editors would. So this is set up in two different places. You have one on the video track, which is basically determine how the video engine is going to process the image. And then you have a setting in the video window, which determines how those colors are represented on the monitor you have in front of you. So when you import a file here, ProTools analyzes the metadata and automatically selects the best matching like color space for that video track, and once you press it, it's gonna be that one that shows up. So if there is no metadata, or if Pro Tools can't determine it, it's gonna default to 709. If you need to change it, you can command click and you'll access to the full list here. So just as a demonstration here, if I change the color space and you pull your attention to something red here, you'll see it gets all washed out and kind of gray. So putting the correct color space really brings back that richness in the picture. And the second setting is for your display. So just right click, go to video, window color space. And for most users, the Direct 709 full range will give you the best picture. So this is now always going to be the default in Pro Tools. Right. Let's talk about something completely different again. We have made some Dolby Atmos improvements, and we added support for the new version. Let me just make that smaller. Yeah, we added support for this new version of the Dolby Atmos Music Panner. It's version 1.2. So you can now, with this plugin, write sequencer moves or basically any input you give to this plugin to automation lanes in Pro Tools. And you can then convert that automation to Pro Tools pan automation. So why would you want to do this? Well, it's because it's necessary to do if you want to include the music panner information when you export an ADM file directly from Pro Tools. And this is because only the native plugin information will be bounced to the ADM. And for those of you who don't know, if you mix a track, music track in Atmos, the ADM is what will be delivered to the streaming services. So let's have a look at this track. I'm going to focus it, solo it, and please don't mind the latency in Zoom. So it's not going to be a one-to-one here, but you'll get the idea. So right now, the panner has object 23. We have that same object on our object here. This panner is controlling the pan. And as you can see down here, the Pro Tools panner is not doing anything at this point. So if we would bounce the ADM, we wouldn't get this information. So what I can do is to select the track, go to Edit, Automation, and duplicate Dolby Atmos plugin automation to pan automation, which, by the way, can be set as a shortcut. And you press OK. And a few things happened. Obviously, we copied the automation down to the native panner. And also, the Dolby Atmos Music Panner plugin got deactivated, meaning it gave back the pan control to the native Pro Tools panner. So now when I press play, we actually have native pan control here. So I also want to highlight that we are using Pro Tools Studio for this. So again, if you were on an active Pro Tools Standard plan before, you now have Pro Tools Studio. And surround mixing in the Pro Tools Standard wasn't part of that. So this is surround mixing and Dolby Atmos mixing capabilities is brand new and it's huge. So if you want to take your mix to the next step and mix in Dolby Atmos, you can do that with Studio. The only additional piece you need is the Dolby Atmos rendering software. So to make that more accessible, all annual subscribers of Pro Tools Studio and Flex get a $200 discount on the Dolby Atmos production suites, meaning you only pay $99 for it and it's yours to keep. So if you are an annual subscriber, the offer can be found under my special offers on the My Product page on avid.com. So let's move to something different again. I'll bring out my camera here this back. Just do this. Here we go. So I'm going to talk a bit about the Yukon assignable knob. And this is a feature that allows you to assign almost any on-screen continuous controller in Pro Tools to the assignable knob on either S4, S6, or to this monitor knob on the Avid dock that I have in front of me. So it's really easy to operate. Simply put your mouse above a parameter. So I'm putting it over the height parameter. Never mind the pink one, it's just a software I'm using. So when it's blue, it means I can actually use this. Let me zoom back out. Right there. And you can actually use this knob to control the height. As soon as I move my mouse here, I'm not going to be able to control it. This also works for something like a fader. I'm actually gonna do that so you can see better. And by pressing the monitor knob on the Avid dock like that, you can actually move your mouse elsewhere. And it's still gonna work. You can even close this window and it's still gonna work, as you can see. And if you pay attention to the Avid control here, you have the parameter of the assignable knob showing up. And if I let it go, it's going to go away. It's going to come back as soon as I touch it again. So let's unassign that, move to threshold here. Let's have some music playing. And let's solo the track like that. So really easy. Just put it anywhere you want, like that. And the really cool feature here is you can assign a soft key to mirror the assignable knob down to the jog wheel here, which means you get high resolution control over basically any parameter on Pro Tools. So it's really cool. And I also just want to take a second there is a new option here that always show Yukon assignable knob highlights. So if you untick this, that highlight is only going to show when you move this controller, which some people might prefer. Right. So before I hand it off to our next presenter, let me hide that for. I want to let you know we have partnered up with Soundflow to offer a very special version of their software to all of our Pro Tools Flex annual subscribers. And this is called the Soundflow Cloud Avid Edition. So to those of you who don't know, Soundflow is software that allows you to create very advanced workflow automations for Pro Tools, basically saving you a lot of time not having to do repetitive tasks. And so with the Avid edition, you get access to over 1,600 macros and commands that you can control with either your keyboard, a MIDI controller, or other devices. And you also get a 90-day trial of Soundflow Cloud Pro, which lets you create your own macros and also gives you access to the Soundflow store, which gives you access to even more macros, and which is where you would pick up something like the bounce factor from Andrew Sheps, because he's using the Soundflow platform for that app. And if you want more information on Soundflow, I can highly recommend to check out the Soundflow video Pro Tools Expert did. I believe it's called Soundflow Everything You Need to Know. And yeah, with that, I'll hand it over to TJ, who will give you a walkthrough of some new resources we have created.
Awesome. Thank you, Oscar. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen with everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is TJ Gardino. I'm based in San Francisco, California, and I work in the learning department at Avid. And I'm really excited to share with you some of the content that we have available, some of the resources for existing Pro Tools users, new Pro Tools users. We've been hard at work on this stuff, and I'm excited to talk about it. So starting off, we are going to take a look at the dashboard. We have some new things to point out here. First of all, we have some new templates, some new session templates. So these session templates right here are really designed for a new Pro Tools user or somebody who's new to a particular workflow. If you're getting into making beats or podcasting or singer-songwriter, These templates really have everything you need to get you up and running really quickly in Pro Tools and to get to your creative goal as fast as possible. All of the templates have plugins preloaded, and they have comments, as you can see, loaded up in this session behind me. They have comments that kind of explain what you're looking at, what the track does. So they're really helpful for new users or folks who are getting acquainted to the software. We also have some post-production templates here. If you mix in 5.1 or stereo post, these are going to help you get up and running quickly, get right into your workflow. So the session templates have really been reworked to be as valuable as possible and make things as efficient as possible. And I will just note here that if you have your own session templates saved, they won't be overwritten, they won't be erased or anything like that when you update. So those will still be available. The session templates are all saved in groups, so they're you can easily collate them, organize them, recall them. And so yeah, so those are some new exciting session templates. And then the next thing I'm going to show you here is, let me get back into Pro Tools. We have some new track presets. So going in here to our track presets, we've also kind of revamped all of our track presets to be more useful, more streamlined. Obviously, track presets are a great place to start, again, for new users, because if you want to record a guitar, but you're unsure about what inserts to use or what to select, this kind of takes the guesswork out of that. But these are also really useful for more advanced users. They're updated. They contain new plugins like GrooveCell, SynthCell, things like that. I've been spending time with these track presets over the last couple of days, and I can confirm I really like them. And as usual, the track presets that you have saved on your own, they're not going to be overwritten. They're not going anywhere. They're still available for you to recall. So let's go back over to the dashboard and move on to the next section that I want to talk about here. And that's this Getting Started tab. So probably the most obvious change to the dashboard that all of you have noticed is this Getting Started tab. It's a brand new addition. And again, this is really meant to make Pro Tools more approachable to a new user, more user-friendly, more intuitive, and generally more fun. So you can recall any of those Getting Started templates that I just talked about from this Getting Started window right here. That's what you see on the bottom. But then there's also these 3 links that are really, really helpful. And I'm going to walk you through what they are really quick. So each link, if you click on it, it will take you to a particular site. This first link takes you to our Getting Started with Pro Tools webpage on avid.com. And this is a wealth of knowledge for Pro Tools users. All of this content has been refreshed, updated, brand new, and there's some really good information here. The first thing that you're going to see is this Pro Tools Fast Start series. And this is a series that's meant to take a user who has never used Pro Tools before, maybe even never used a DAW before, and get them up and running and making their own music as fast as possible. So this is a really good series. I know that most of the folks here probably have used Pro Tools, but if you know someone who's getting into it, or if you're trying a new workflow, let's say you've done post or podcasting, but have never done music creation, this is a good series to check out to see what you have available in Pro Tools. The only downside of this series is that, unfortunately, you have to look at my face for 10 minutes at a time in each video. But if you can bear that, it's a good resource for you. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have some first steps here that are also really helpful. The demo session tour, I'm going to come back to in just a minute because that's also featured in the dashboard. But there's an installing Pro Tools video that's really helpful. Obviously, if you're installing and activating, we all know that we've run into things that we can't quite navigate around. So this is a good place to check and reference if you need help getting up and running with Pro Tools, activating, installation. And we also have troubleshooting videos. Troubleshooting videos are always great. If you get stuck, definitely check out this series. It covers a ton of topics, and it's a really great place to kind of get over an issue that you might be experiencing. We also have a ton of quick tip videos, which are really, really helpful. And I'm going to touch on those in a little bit when we talk about the quick reference guide. So back over to Pro Tools in the dashboard, I'm going to click on the second link here. This takes us to our Pro Tools guided tour. And this is a tour that's guided by Simon Sherborne, who we heard from earlier. And we've all had the experience of opening Pro Tools for the first time, looking at the interface and saying, what is happening here. This demo and this guided tour is really meant to kind of walk you through what you're looking at, how things work in Pro Tools, how things are organized, how things are laid out, and get you familiar with the interface quickly and effectively so that you can kind of be more effective in laying out your sessions or getting up and running. The guided tour is featuring this demo, Can't Get Enough, which I actually have loaded in Pro Tools. So let me just close out of the dashboard and show you that. This is a session that was provided to us, and it is available in your documents folder along with your downloaded installation of Pro Tools. The video goes through how you can find it if you do want to check it out. This is a session that was given to us by Wavy Wayne. If you consume Pro Tools content on YouTube, you've probably seen some stuff from Wavy Wayne. He's a really fantastic engineer, Pro Tools user, educator, and this is a great session. It's really well organized. It's really well laid out. And it sounds really good. It's really fun. So highly recommend checking this out, and shout out Wavy Wayne. Check him out if you haven't yet. Okay, let's go back to the dashboard one last time so I can show you this last link. And this I am particularly excited to show you. This is our new Pro Tools Quick Reference Guide. This thing is a complete wealth of knowledge for Pro Tools users, and it's totally interactive. So you can see that wherever I click, I can navigate this document really fast and get to where I need to be. It's really something that I would recommend just having up on your screen while using Pro Tools. I've been working the last couple of days in Pro Tools with this pulled up along with my session, and I can always refer to this if I have any questions about anything, if I want to learn more about any particular topic. And granted, my internet is conveying this correctly. You can see that it's really snappy. It's really quick. It's really effective. We all know that when you encounter something that you're not sure about, you want an answer fast and quickly to stay in that creative flow. And this really helps you accomplish that because it's responsive, it's quick, it's easy to navigate, and it has everything that you need. Now, another cool feature of this quick reference guide is that it also has links to those quick tip videos that I mentioned earlier. So let's say that I'm reading about exporting my mix, bouncing. You can see here that there's a link to one of the quick tip videos for bouncing your mix. And if I click that, it'll take me straight to that particular video. So if you're reading through and you want a demonstration via quick tips on how they're doing it to see it in action, these video tips are really, really valuable and really helpful. So again, quick reference guide, fantastic tool for Pro Tools users. It is a living document, so it'll be updated with any changes. And it's something that I recommend you check out and just kind of have on tap. I know it's been useful for me, and I'm sure a lot of us will find this useful, whether we're new to Pro Tools or we've been using it for a while. And that's everything that I wanted to share with you all today. So if you haven't checked out some of those resources, make sure to do that. Spend some time in there. Check out the demo session, check out Wavy Wayne, check out some of our videos. We want to make sure that we give as much resource and knowledge to the folks using Pro Tools as we possibly can. We want to make it high quality and effective. So that's all from me. Thanks for taking a moment to allow me to share. I'm going to stop screen sharing now, and I'm going to pass it back to Orla.
Thanks, TJ. So we've had some amazing questions coming in. And lots of them. We're going to try and answer as many of these as we can, but apologies if we miss any of them. One question I saw popping up quite a lot is Avid discontinuing perpetual licenses. And yes, Avid will no longer sell new perpetual licenses, but customers with active subscriptions and current updates and support plans will automatically get the equivalent tier moving forward. And also one thing to note that I mentioned earlier is that Avid resellers also have an existing stock of perpetual licenses, and customers will be able to redeem and convert these licenses to the new equivalent product offerings. So let me just have a look at what else we have coming in here.
While you're looking all this, I was just going to say I saw a few other people asking, about does the price change if you're currently on a perpetual license, say you're a Pro Tools Ultimate customer, and the answer to that is no. If you're currently on Pro Tools Ultimate and you're just renewing annually, that you basically stays the same as it has been.
And I also saw a few popping up of Pro Tools Studio subscriptions, and they were wondering if they could switch to Pro Tools Artist. You can, but you will need to wait till your subscription expires to switch to another plan. Let's have a look here. We've had a few nice comments about GrooveCell and SynthCell. A couple of people were wondering which Pro Tools versions get the new virtual instruments, GrooveCell and SynthCell. All current customers, both subscription and perpetual, get the new virtual instruments.
Yeah, we also had a couple of people checking whether you can use your own sounds with GrooveCell, and that's a yes as well. So you can stack your own samples up to 3 per pad on there, build your own kits.
I can see another one here asking which versions of Pro Tools support surround and Atmos mixing. And that's both Pro Tools Studio and Pro Tools Ultimate software, which is included in the Pro Tools Flex subscription bundle, includes surround mixing capabilities. Let me just have a look here. Sorry, it's hard to keep track of this Q&A.
Yeah, I'm trying to read while you talk.
Will Pro Tools Studio support HDX and HD native hardware? No, HDX and HD native require Pro Tools Ultimate software. I don't know if you can spot anything else.
Yeah, I guess, obviously the other most common hardware related question is about Macs and silicon compatibility. I'm not sure if we touched on that yet, but
I don't think so.
Yeah, so currently, Pro Tools is qualified to work under Rosetta on most of the M1 Macs. We actually just finished qualified testing on the Mac Studio and the MacBook Pros last week. But native silicon support is kind of in the works, and so that will come along a bit later. But actually, it works really, really well as it is right now.
I think a couple of people were confused as well on the difference between Flex and Pro Tools Ultimate. Pro Tools Flex is the subscription bundle that includes Pro Tools Ultimate software. Current perpetual license owners get that Pro Tools Ultimate software, plus all of the plugins and virtual instruments, but not the additional subscription bundle content like SoundFlow that Oscar showed us earlier on.
Another question actually coming in about the getting current. Yeah, so if someone's on what happens then if you're on a perpetual license but it's expired, what happens there? There is actually an option to kind of get back on plan. I think we're calling it get current, so that you can jump back on board and get back to that kind of annual renewal price that you've been on before.
Yeah, and that's for both Pro Tools Studio and Pro Tools Ultimate, I think. So I think I can't really spot anything else. I don't know if you can. Sure, we're missing stuff.
I know that, so in the Zoom we've had, I think, getting on towards 200 questions that the team have been kind of furiously typing answers to as well.
Oh, amazing.
I'm sure it's the same on YouTube.
Perfect. So there is a couple of bits I just wanted to cover before we finish up. So for anyone that missed this webinar, we have been recording, and we'll be sending out a link so you can rewatch or catch up and find out all the bits you need to with that. And also on the 10th of May, we're going to have a live stream on YouTube introducing Pro Tools Artist with some special guests and great giveaways. The team will provide the link where you can enter the giveaway, and you can just visit YouTube on the day to watch. So unless we have any other questions that anyone could spot, I think that's it from us for today. So thanks to everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on May 10th.
Thank you. See ya.